can pull up more chairs over here too.
Yeah. Do you know how many people are going to come?
Anywhere between about 3 of us to hopefully like 7. But we'll see. And like, we'll actually ask the audience.
How many Canadians in the audience right now? Yeah.
You're all invited to come sit with me on the panel.
I don't know about all.
Seriously,
Maybe like one emissary per dev team. Yeah.
That's sensible. That makes sense. Okay. We're going to play Never Have I Ever, and we're going to drink. And it's going to be great.
I would like to take this opportunity to once again thank our kind and generous sponsors, Sony PlayStation. The guys from Sony PlayStation, or Sony Third Party, are actually here, and they want to talk to you. If you guys are developers, and many of you are, just watch for folks hovering around the PS4s. If you see a guy with a great big beard and a jolly demeanor, that's probably Nick Sutner. You can talk to him about getting your games on Sony platforms, and they are a super good friend. GameRoomSolutions.com was where we sourced all of our cabinet kits this year for the cabinets in the arcades. Those are pretty cool and affordable and easy to assemble game cabinets if you guys are so inclined to ever have your own arcade. Discount Electronics is a partner every year. They help us with a lot of the little fiddly bits that we need to get those things built. Our friend Dougal Grimes over at Hasbro sent us some pretty cool prizes for some of the tournaments this year. And then finally, Alienware is a sponsor, and we get all of our computers from them. I see some patriotic Canadians lining up.
Yay.
Yeah. Do you speak Canadian?
No.
Are you from Canada?
Oh, we might have a problem then. I thought I had Shemai. Oh wait, is that it? Yeah, it's there. I was like, I do this my TV at home. I know it's.
The other weird thing is we've got separate audio.
Yeah, he was telling me. Well, I can try it. Look at that. It's beautiful. There's only one thing that's out. Let's see if it works.
What other Canadian game developers feel like answering questions about Moose?
I don't know.
Justin's just hiding. All right, okay.
Yeah. Mixer? No.
It is. I have questions about this, about all these Canadians coming to Texas, taking our fantastic arcade panel slots.
You guys have like 10 minutes because I'm going to show Anamorphine, and then you're going to come sit with me.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't come down
Thank
yet.
you guys. And other Canadians are welcome. One from each team. We need more girls also, so.
Yeah, probably just wants sound from the HDMI though, rather than the headphone jack.
Well,
We're good.
That's great. Okay. Sweet. Let's try it. I'll test it so we don't deafen them. Let's not deafen them all. Nope. That wasn't very high. Oh wait. Right. Nope. It's still not coming through. That's super weird.
Maybe restart the game.
Oh, restart. Oh, maybe. Well, it's a video. It's a video. So I just did. It's not. I know. super weird. It's working earlier today. I was working at home. No, it's a video like in my files. It's an HTML presentation. It's a slideshow. That's a ringtone, I think. No, it's not. That's bizarre. I mean, I can talk over it, or I could try to run one simultaneously from YouTube or something. Maybe it'll work on YouTube. I'll see. I don't know. We'll just see if sound works nowhere or everywhere. Oh, also that. I've got the...
Hello, hello, hello. 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 Is this loud enough, you think, for the back, or should we make it louder?
I think it's loud.
Can people hear this? Can the stream hear this?
Hey, Brandon. We want to do a streaming mic test.
Hello.
Does
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Doesn't seem to want to come out.
yeah, sounds good.
Weird.
We got the thumbs up.
No, there's no sound.
Wow.
I can do it with that sound.
It's gotta be.
It's in that same setting.
It's gotta be that same setting.
It's a shame.
Speaker HP should say headphones.
Ooh.
So we plug it up, plug that.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Maybe it's in the wrong one. Maybe it's in, that was headphone. Should it be mic, maybe?
Sometimes it'll.
When I do that, I get that. When I do this, I get those.
Do the speaker. See what happens when you do speaker.
Computer? Won't you try to go through the HDMI though?
Yeah, I would.
Oh, it is. Look, I checked. Thank you. Hi.
Here's that.
You put yourself in there instead of on the edge. What if I need you to like run out? What if I faint? If I puke?
I mean, it's
You come under.
with all the other machines, microphone or headphone jack shows up when it's plugged in, and it's
Weird.
not showing
I mean,
up.
I could also do this on any computer. It's on a USB. So, but my mom has come rescue me. But stupid Dell. No, it's the sound. That works. It's awesome. It's not the one we need, but let's see if the other one works now.
All right.
Miracle of
Everybody,
miracles.
please give a warm round of applause to our guest, Samantha Cook.
There we go. Hi, everybody. Hope you're having a super day. So, my name is Samantha Cook. I work in Montreal in Canada. Yay, Canada. I'm actually American. Don't tell anyone. Anyway, so I'm part of a newly founded indie studio in Montreal called Artifact5. We were made up of 3 co-founders, team of 5 right now, programmer, artist, me, producer, writer, marketer, person who goes to conferences, all that stuff. We have an in-house sound designer and a concept artist. So we've got this tight little team. We've been working for many months, but only a couple weeks to bring you this. So this is one of our longer, more narrative demos. We are sort of in production now, but this is sort of the nice, concise way to show you guys what we're up to and the kind of games we want to make. So the first thing you should know is that we want to tell stories through environments more than through text or through voiceover, things like that. So, for example, if you feel in the game like your world is going to fall apart, your world will literally fall apart. So we call this rendering emotions, and this is the kind of thing we want to express in games. So that was made in UDK. That was an old demo. So the first game we're making is called Anamorphine. It is a first-person surreal exploration game inspired by like Andy Chamber and Gone Home, sort of a mesh of those kinds of games, narrative and the surreal. And I'm going to walk you guys through our demo. This is what's playable outside in the arcade machines. So this will give you a lot more context than you'll get on your own. And I'm going to try to not reveal too much narrative, though, because as a narrative game, I don't want to give up the ghost this early. So when you begin the game, you're playing as a man called Tyler, and he's just moved in with his wife, Elena. She's a cellist, as you can see. So this kind of throws you in the middle of the action, kind of, a little bit further into the game, but it's generally about how to navigate a relationship. And the important thing to know is we're using no text, no UI, no voiceover, no action button. The only thing you can do is look around, and there's a mechanic there. So surreal shifts are very important in how we tell a story. You take memories from each scene and put them in this museum of your mind. And they each have significance in what happens between you and your wife. So basically, something bad's happened, you don't remember what it is, and you're going back and exploring your memories of what happened to you and your wife. That's the general arc. So I won't talk too much about these. You can just take the metaphors and think about them. These are sort of places out of time and space. They're really in his mind as he's trying to, figure out how to feel about his life. So things sort of go from lighter to darker. And metaphorical imagery is very important, clearly. As things get darker, things start to shift around you in difficult ways. And this is all triggered visually. So no action button, it's purely just, what you see will react to you, and how you walk through the environment will determine what kind of journey you go on. And as time passes, things tend to get darker. The other mechanic, besides keeping these memories and preserving them, is escapism. So alcohol and substance abuse is another way to kind of escape the dark reality you've fallen into. And alcohol literally becomes a portal to somewhere you can escape and be freer. For a little while, anyway. So that's the demo. Thank you. You can go play it for yourself. So we're influenced by a lot of movies as well as games. Things like this Tree of Life up there. It's really hard to read. But Tree of Life, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Mulholland Drive. Basically anything David Lynch. Being John Malkovich. Brazil, if you want to go back a little farther. A lot of surrealism and heavy emotional stories have been told in movies, and somewhat less so in games. I mean, obviously, a lot of games have heavy stories, but in terms of sort of realism and mental health and sort of emotional turmoil within the context of a relationship, it's harder to find. Games have started doing this more recently, and that's super awesome. So, Gone Home and meets Antechamber, like I said, is kind of the thing we're going for. But it's really nice to see these narrative-driven sort of, walking simulators, but just, sort of adventure-based games gone a slightly different direction to tell stories is really exciting. So we're going to come out next year, so don't look for us, for a little while. So it's summer 2016. It's clearly going to be a VR game. I mean, look at it. So all those visual shifts. But yeah, PC, VR, and then consoles a little bit later. And that's it. If you guys have any questions about that, I'll take them for a couple minutes, and then we're gonna hang out with Canadians for a little while. So any thoughts, any questions? Take any of them. Are you still using Unreal? No, we're in Unity now. Unity now. We were actually at Unite last week. Why? At the time, which was over 10 months ago, they switched from Unity to Unity. I think partly it was cost, because at the time it was a very different deal, how much it would cost to do, to use UDK versus Unity, and Unity had a good one that came up, and they wanted to port to Unity 5, I think, at the time. Or that was a little bit later. I'm not the programmer. He has a way better answer for that, but at the time it seemed like a really good idea. We will probably use Unreal in the future, though, because we like the way it does graphics. So. Mm-hmm. No. It's all done real time. It partially uses the Shatter toolkit, but we've we've customized it. So it's based on perspective and on where you look. So you walk into that room, but you could play it multiple times over there, and depending on where you look at it and when, like, it'll shatter totally differently. Same thing, like the lamps. Sometimes they'll stay whole, sometimes they'll shatter. It depends how, like, small or large the area that we choose to fracture is. But yeah, it's customized. Yeah. Hi. It's a bit of both. A lot of it is about finding the right angle. So, if, like that first shift with Elena, your wife, if you don't step up close enough to her, you're not gonna make the shift. And you can kind of do it from a few different angles, but it's about sort of filling the screen. We had an older demo that showed that too. You had to line it up sort of just right in order to sort of portal through. But some of it too, like our older demo, which I could actually totally show you guys. Hang on. This is our. I'll skip forward. This is our original gameplay one, and it kind of shows this idea of space changing around you. Behind you, in front of you, it depended on sort of where you went. So this is the UK demo. Sorry for the wobblies. And things would change sort of behind you, for example. So it was a fun one to show. And then, of course, we needed an infinite hallway. That was very important. I'll skip ahead. This one's more fun later. Hang on. There we go. Later in the game. So in this way, in this part, it sort of, I guess, would be more reactive. So depending on where you go, it changes. Like these columns will sort of shift downwards with you, or if you change direction, they will stop collapsing on you. And then they shift as you go farther and sort of change into these wedding dresses. So that was the original. Any other questions? Oh, hi.
Music seems to be a pretty important part of the experience.
Very much. Yeah. So yes, since we're not using voiceover or text, sound is incredibly important. So we're going to have music and sound effects and a certain amount of sort of sound triggers when you are kind of approaching the right things that are going to become those memories that you find in the museum. We're kind of calling it like breadcrumbing, like you're going to find one, then another, and they're going to have both visual and sound markers that'll mark them as what you want to be following. But then also in terms of conveying story tone, music can be really important in, it can be a horror game if it's got the right kind of music, or a nice happy game if it has the other kind of music. We have a sound designer working with us, like we've had full time. Her name is Beatrix Mersch. She's from Saskatchewan, which is in Canada. And she's working with us, and she's super great. Her background's in film as well, which works really well since it's a very cinematic kind of game. But yeah, emotions and conveying them through sound is super important. Other questions? No? Okay, we can wrap it up there and start the more Canadian portion of the talk. So, my dear panelists who have agreed so kindly to come down and hang out with me should come down now. And if you are a Canadian and you're showing a game, you should come hang out. And I'm gonna get you beer if I can find a server to do that. So, we could get a pitcher or two, and then whoever wants to drink. Are you gonna drink? Are you gonna drink? Are you gonna drink? Can you do it with me? Nah. Shirley Temples? I don't know. What should we drink? Inform us. Anyone? No? Good Texan beer? I don't know. Should have brought some Boreal. Paloma? Join us. I think, yes, we do have it. Here, I'll move down one. We don't really need the computer anymore anyway. We'll just leave this up there. Super cool. And I have questions. Important questions. Hey, yay, come join us. I think, do we have any more chairs? Is there an organizer? Oh, no, that's not a chair. Or I can stand at the podium and you can have my chair. Ooh, let's do that. Oh, no, thanks, Wiley. Ooh, 2 chairs. We can have another Canadian game dev. So sweet. We love it. Awesome. All right, where are my questions? I can has questions. There we go. All right. Is that a poutine? I want one. Oh, good, another mic. You guys can share down there. All right, are your mics working? Everyone good?
Hello. Check.
It's working.
Paloma's yours working? The one in front?
Hey.
Awesome. It is. Good. Michael, can you find us some drinks? Thank you, darling. Okay. Water's cool, too. All right.
Howdy.
Hi. So I've met half of this panel, haven't met the other half. This is super exciting. Okay, so as you know, I'm Samantha. We'll go quickly down and introduce ourselves. So.
All right. My name is Ben Swindon, and I'm showing a game here called Fulcrum. It's a snowboard game, typical Canadian activity. Yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, I'm making it with a cool dude named Richard Flanagan.
Hi, I'm Salim Dabous. I'm part of Co-op, and we're making a game called Nog that you can play in the arcade.
It's gnarly. That doesn't work. Gnarly. Never mind. Okay.
I'm Paloma Dawkins. I made a game called Alia. It's in the arcade right now. It has like a moss controller. Also very Canadian.
Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm working on a game called Secret Legend, which you can also play in the arcade. It's an isometric action adventure with a fox in it.
I'm Justin. I made Risky Bison. I talked 2 hours ago.
I'm Devin. I work in a VR studio called River, and I work on the indie game Lioness.
Thank you, everyone. Sorry, I was getting those drinks going. Thanks, Michael. All right. Awesome. So we are going to do this as a slightly different panel because I could just ask questions, but I want to ask them in the format of Never Have I Ever, which is a game some of you might have played either while teenagers or drunk or both. So the format of this game is to ask a question. So I would say, never have I ever eaten poutine. And if I have eaten poutine, I would take a sip or, raise my hand. We're going to have some water and beer so we can actually sip and, indicate if we have done these things. Or if I haven't, I wouldn't. And if you guys have done those things, I might ask the follow-up and be like, oh, tell me about that. Which is, it's not just going to be eating food questions, though. It'll be game dev questions. So it's a way to see what y'all have done and then see if it's fun and follow up on it. And we'll just see how long it goes. And when I run out of questions, we can ask more questions. You guys can help. So, yeah, that's the format. So I will start.
We're just going to pretend to drink for now.
Yeah, for now. The drinks are coming, though. She's on it. So we'll get it going. All right, first question. Never have I ever made a game with secret in the title. And he would drink, because I know he's made a game with secret in the title. Oh, wait, no, you. Sorry, different blonde. Hi. There you go. Tell me about that.
Making a game with secret in the title?
You've made a game with secret in the title.
Okay.
Tell us about your game.
This
is our introduction, our deeper introduction.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Sure.
I have a plan.
As I said, you can play it out on the machines out there. It has some secrets in it, and the other half of the name is meant to evoke some other games where you run around and find triangles in the countryside. It ended up sort of being a working title, but people seem to like it. I don't know, it might change one day. I'm open to suggestions. You can talk to me afterwards.
Nice. All right. Never have I ever made a golf game. We have both made really different golf games.
Sorry, I'm so hungry.
I can talk about mine first if you're chewing. No, you're good.
I made a game called Desert Golfing. It's highly realistic golfing in the desert. It goes forever.
Canadian desert.
Yeah, there is a small
Tundra.
stretch of desert in southern British Columbia. There it is.
Really, in BC?
How do we do it? How do we do it?
That's what it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. There it is. Oh, listen to this part. This is the best part. No, not that. That. People love that. It just goes up.
Sounds amazing.
It is.
Wow. I worked on a game called Pro Field Golf, which is probably the most realistic versus the most adorable and fantastical game. I was at a studio called Behavior Interactive, so you can download it on the iTunes Store or the Android Store. But anyway, if you like actual golf, it's kind of good. You can also customize your character and wear a crown or crazy shorts or whatever. So, woo, golf. Free to play. All right, never have I ever made a game involving giant heads.
Hello.
These are leading questions.
I'm giving a talk about it tomorrow, so I'm not going to talk about it now.
That's fair. Just wanted y'all to know. It has giant heads in it. All right. Never have I ever been to an NHL game. National Hockey League. No?
Wow.
Are we the worst Canadians?
You have to leave now.
Shame.
I'm an immigrant.
Me too. Me too. It's true. Thank you.
One pitcher is 4 glasses. So I don't know if you want another pitcher of beer or.
I feel like one will be good for now because I'm not sure if everyone's going to drink very much. But we'll see how it goes. Drink. Those glasses. Because we're not kids anymore. So sad. All right, we'll do some pouring. I'm going to designate Ben's on it. It's great. All right, Ben's all over this. Super. I'm going to ask an easy one then, and they're just going to be funny. So while we're pouring. Never have I ever seen Leonard Cohen on the street. No.
I've seen him.
There you go. Sweet. We'll
So
have
I
you
drink?
drinking. Yes, you take a sip.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Our first real sip. That's so exciting. Never have I ever been made fun of for saying a or a boot.
I was made fun of for saying about already several times on this trip.
Aww.
And I was also made fun of for speaking wrong in Boston. So,
Speaking wrong.
yeah, saying about.
I'm actually from Boston. I apologize on behalf of Massachusetts.
It's just that people from Boston Also speak wrong.
Oh. Oh, no, I know. We're terrible. Right, well, we're wicked awesome, but that's a whole other story. Okay, ooh, I like that. Thank you. Thank you, beer people. All right. Oh, never have you walked a kilometer from work at 1,700 hours. I don't know, metric.
1,700 hours.
5 o'clock. This is a Quebec thing, maybe.
No, we use it too.
There you go. À 17 heures, you know.
For a 5 à 7, probably.
Exactement. On va aller boire du vin et bière à la 5 à 7, which is always from 6 to 8.
Or 6 till 4 a.m.
Nice 5 à 7. Okay, your 5 à 7s. Where are you from again?
Halifax.
Ah, it's far away.
It's 5 o'clock Montreal time, which is at least 45 minutes later than the actual time.
This is true. Everyone's always late.
It's terrible.
It's a great city. Oh, it's awesome. I'm always late. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's great for people who are late. Yeah.
Super. Okay, another one. Moi-même, j'ai jamais habité à Québec. As never have I ever lived in Quebec. So we speak French there, by the way. Sometimes. We probably don't, but people do. Okay, back to game questions. Never have I ever made a platformer. Oh, yeah. Want to talk about any of them? Starting at the end.
I made a little one called Shield Lord with Ben and Alan on Train Jam, and then I was working on one called Satans.exe. Joseph drew some Satans for that. And that was with a guy named Anand and Alan. They're pretty bad.
Hey, I think that's pretty good.
It's okay. Who was the next one?
I was just thirsty.
Does it count if it just went into the game's graveyard? Like, I don't think I made a thing that had a the end at the end.
That's okay.
Yeah. So I did that, but then I didn't really make one. It wasn't a real game. You can't play any.
Why did you kill it?
Why did it die?
Oh, well, if you come to my talk on Thursday, I will talk all about the game's graveyard and the horrible vortex that not having a deadline provides.
Oh, man. No deadlines. Sounds like the worst thing ever. I like deadlines. Because I'm always late. Anyway. Paloma?
Well, I made Gardenarium. I guess it's not really a platformer, but I sometimes like to consider it like a poetry platformer.
There's jumping.
Oh.
Yeah, there's jumping. There's a little bit of skill.
I'll take it.
I made one. It was probably like the first game I made. It was terrible. It was kind of like it was a game where I just designed it so you have to do all the things that you normally are supposed to avoid in a platformer. So it was just like jumping on spikes and I don't know, not getting keys. You had to avoid all the keys to make the door open. It was bad.
That actually sounds a lot like the platformer I made.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I feel like 1,000 people have made that platformer before.
Well, I haven't played one like yours, but mine was it was called Karma Killer. I made it back in January. It's my first game I made myself, and you're like delivering burritos via rooftops for your vegan non-hierarchical burrito collective, and you're not supposed to hurt anything, or you'll lose karma. So you're avoiding pigeons. You're not like jumping on things. Like you're avoiding hurting anything. So similar, but a little different. Except if you get cats, they give you more karma because you've taken them to the SPCA to be spayed and neutered. Spay and neuter your pets. All right, next one. Never have I ever made a text-based game. We have 3. Oh, we have 4. If you want to talk about it, go ahead.
It was in QBasic like 1,000 years ago.
I don't even know what that is. I'm so ashamed.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. It wasn't very good.
Okay.
Graveyard.
Justin? Or were you just Thursday?
Yeah, I made a text-based game. It was about it was a text to speech, and it would speak names from the Cthulhu universe, and you'd have to type them in and figure out what it's spelling or what it's saying.
That sounds awesome.
It's like one of my favorite games that I've made, but no one's played it.
What's it called?
It's called Sinister Names.
Where can we find it? Is it in the graveyard too?
I have a graveyard page on my website.
Oh.
Just internet it.
Okay. This is being twitched. I'm sure we can find that again later.
When I was like 13 or 14, I was really into MUDs, multi-user dungeons. It was like the hot thing back then. So yeah, that's kind of how I started trying to teach myself programming, was to make one of those. And it was just kind of like, go north, go east, get gold. I think that was it. Super fun. Yeah, that's what it was called. Get gold.
I made it. My first game was made in Twine, and it was called Loon, after the Canadian dollar, which is called a loonie. It's a very Canadian game.
Good fact.
It was about a magical loony that you find on the street that transports you somewhere in the city with no people. And it was like a weird game where I smoked a lot of weed and was going through a breakup and thought it was interesting.
Aw, thanks for sharing.
No problem.
Oh, hold on, Ben, what about your game with the train? That was text-based.
That's true. That's a really good game.
Thank you. It was a Twine game that I made. There was a train. Trains are very Canadian.
We actually have trains. It's true. Both the metro and trains across Canada. If you are a musician, you can actually like live on the train and go across Canada for free as long as you play a show a day. Fun Canadian fact. Go via rail. Not helpful for game devs, though, I don't think. Unless it's a music game? I don't know. Anyway. Never have I ever worked at a game studio. Like a big one, not like little indie one.
What's a big one?
That's a good question. That's a really arbitrary statement. If it felt like a studio. Do you know what I mean? Is that too arbitrary? You know what I mean. Come on. I'm drinking. Just drink. It's fun.
Drinking is fun. Kids, drinking is fun.
Wait, where did you guys?
Then tell us what you meant.
We both worked at a studio called Silverback Games. It's about 15 to 20 people at any given time, and we made like hidden object games.
They were really good.
They were top quality hidden object games.
What platform were they for?
Everything, I think.
Like Facebook?
No.
Or like, okay, like real games?
Yeah. Well.
No, my first game was a Facebook game. I'm not judging. It was
Yeah.
also a hidden object game. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's a thing.
They were like mist light, sort of thing.
It does sound good.
Are people familiar with the hidden object game genre? Show of hands. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
good third of the audience.
Yeah, it's like Myst, but every now and again it looks like a moving truck exploded, and you need to find all of the wrenches or whatever.
Oh.
Empress of the Deep, shout out 1, 2, and 3, high quality products.
Nice. I worked at Behavior Interactive in Montreal, which is like, anywhere from 100 and usually around 250 people. But like, I was in the mobile division, so my first game was Antiques Hunter Portobello Road. I was the community manager, and it was a Facebook game, and it lasted like a few weeks, more or less, and was played by mostly middle-aged women and men who were very angry when it was anyway. You found antiques in antique stores. It was really cute. But yeah, hidden objects.
Fun fact, Behavior used to be called A to M.
Artificial mind and movement.
And they changed it for obvious reasons.
A to M doesn't Google well. Uh-oh. Yes. Okay. What was the next one? Huh? All right. Never have I ever met Alex Trebek. He's Canadian.
It's a very big country. Do you know this?
Well, you find him in LA. He's on TV every day.
I think Sam wrote all
Jeopardy
these
guy.
questions for herself.
No, I wrote the... Yes. My mom was on Jeopardy. It was cool. Anyway. Whatever. right. Never have I ever disagreed with the way my game was marketed. Although guessing, since most of you haven't been at big studios, you probably don't as much have that problem. But I don't know.
We argue about that all the time on Nog, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Of like how to sort of talk about the game in a way that people can imagine, but that doesn't do it a disservice. So Nog is a game about giant monster heads with puzzles and secrets inside of them. And it's like, for a really long time, we didn't want to call it a puzzle game because, you know, that's not cool and interesting. But I think at the end of the day, it's like we want people to kind of imagine what the game can be instead of like. So I think something interesting, like a game that I really love, is Hohokum, and I think that when Sony was marketing that game, they never really called it a puzzle game, and I think a lot of people just didn't know what the game was, and maybe calling it a puzzle game is doing it a disservice. But I think it might have helped people become more intrigued in it if they did talk about it that way. So that's something we kind of struggle with a lot, is how do we want to talk about our game?
Yeah, for sure. Do you guys have similar stories or any other kinds about marketing the game?
I do not.
That's awesome.
I haven't met Alex Trebek, but every year, you guys should do this too. In early January, you can go to the Jeopardy website and sign up to do their online trials. And you just do this sort of online version of Jeopardy, and that's the first step to getting on. And I'd love to see some indies on Jeopardy.
Yeah. And they do city-specific interviews. You can go in and do live ones. And then they have a year to call you back if you did well. I know all about it. Okay.
Did your mom win?
No, she came second. Or she was second going into Final Jeopardy. And then no one got the Final Jeopardy question right. It was hard.
What was it?
Ooh, okay, this is a good one. Okay, what's the phrasing? The author of this book came up with the name by looking at his filing cabinet. Do, 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 do. Yes! Everyone guessed Xanadu. What? Yeah. Whoa, what is it? Everyone says Xanadu, but you're right. It's the O to Z, as opposed to everyone's thinking like X to X, Y, Z. Anyway, very well done. That guy would have won. All right.
He's Canadian.
Yeah.
Was that
Mazel tov. More Canadian questions. Never have I ever read the Scott Pilgrim books. Good Canadians.
I think I read half of them.
That counts. You read one.
I'm out of water.
Oh, someone get this man some water. Are we out of water? We still have water. Bonus, never have I ever been to Honest Ed's, which is in the books. I've been outside it, so I'm going to count it. And I hope all of you in the audience are playing along.
The only reason I went to Honest Ed's was because my friend is a sign painter. He hand paints signs, and Honest Ed's is like the only place that I've ever been that you can see somebody fully employed at just hand painting signs. They've got signs everywhere. They're all beautiful.
It is a gigantic sort of department store in downtown Toronto where they sell apparently everything under the sun. Apparently it's a little scary. Like a demented IKEA, kind of? I'm just guessing, like I said.
Demented Walmart.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, more demented Walmart.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a little worrying. Oh, God.
Like Zellers.
Yeah. But I think that huh?
Like Zellers. Zellers, like, it's a Canadian department store that totally went under. And then they, like, filled it with Target, and then all the Targets failed.
Yes, Canada did not like Target. It didn't work. Wah, wah. Actually, apparently they're going to demolish Honest Ed's and build condos, which is super sad. So now is your chance if you want to go to the demented Zellers /Walmart/IKEA. All right. Never have I ever run a failed Kickstarter campaign.
It depends on what you call a failure.
I would love to hear your definition since you brought it up.
I don't want to talk about it. There's a lot of bad feelings.
Oh, buddy. Sorry.
It's okay.
No useful lessons for the crowd.
It's not really in my hands.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, they always say you learn more from failure than from success, but I guess we're going to have to skip that question. Fine, be successful. Never have I ever run a successful Kickstarter campaign.
I helped Sauropod, who are the creators of Castle Story, run their Kickstarter back before it was available in Canada. And we did a lot of research of like how we would pull it off. And I think we asked for like $80,000, and the game had $700,000 in backing on Kickstarter.
Ridiculous amounts of money.
It was really successful. Not
Yes.
because of anything I did, though.
Oh, come now.
People were just really excited for that game.
And still are?
Maybe.
Sort of.
I ran a successful Indiegogo campaign.
Oh, sorry. I should. There's signs all over the lobby. I really should have been more general. But we can't do that in Canada, right?
No, yeah.
You can?
I'm from Canada.
Oh. I thought one was American only, or no, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Kickstarter used to not be able to do it. But Indiegogo
My
can,
apologies.
yeah.
Sorry, Indiegogo.
Last year I was showing a game called Moof, which is a game that you play inside of a tent with a quilt as a controller, and the game is projected onto the ceiling of the tent. So we toured it around for the year, and we were all very broke and couldn't really work on the game anymore, so we did an Indiegogo campaign to fund some equipment we needed to show the game and travel costs and stuff, and that was successful. Yeah, we showed it here last year, kind of, at a party. At the Indiecade party, we showed it. But since it's like a quilt-based controller, we were showing it outside, and it's so humid here that the quilt got wet enough that the controller just didn't work anymore. So we just kind of shut the game down, and then devs just started crawling in there and going into sleep. And there was like a 6 or 7 person cuddle puddle by the end of the night. It was, yeah, it was meant for drier climates.
I didn't know you worked on that. I've seen it around Montreal, but
Yeah.
I know it came in people. But cool, that's lovely. I'm going to make up a question then. Never have I ever made a game that had a non-game controller or keyboard as its controls.
Quilt-based control.
My game has a mouse controller.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That was Kale's idea.
Nice.
I made a. Oh,
People at Co-op made a MIDI controller game called Please Don't Space Dog, where you had to wear an Oculus Rift controller and then tweak knobs. And it was highly inspired by Devin's game.
mine was called Make It So, and it was a game where you were the kind of red-shirted mook on the Enterprise that takes all the orders from the title characters, and you have to use all the buttons on a 140 button MIDI controller to carry out those orders without, teleporting somebody into the middle of a star or something like that.
Best avoided.
And then there was a gaze-controlled Oculus game that I'm working on now, and I think that's it.
We should talk after.
Okay.
About the gaze. Awesome. Never have I ever gone curling. I'm American. Come on, guys. Jeez.
I grew up in a desert.
My grandfather curls.
So does mine. Yeah. All right. Never have I ever regretted offering a certain reward for a Kickstarter campaign or Indiegogo. No dark regrets. Didn't offer the moon and then have to deliver it. Smart people. All right. Never have I ever voiced a character in a game.
I do all my own animal sounds.
Can you do some for us now? What animal is that?
Those are all ungulates.
What?
Ungulates, hoofed animals.
Oh.
What's the name of the animal? There's like animals that have one sort of hoof and animals that have kind of split hoofs.
Cloven hoofed versus.
Yeah, there's another. I've been trying to remember that for.
So you're talking about like horses or cows, but not goats or pigs.
Does anyone know the name of that genus?
No. Okay.
Was that an ungulate that had accepted an offer of insurance, or can we get a little bit more rejecting an offer of insurance?
I was freestyling. You know, you make the sounds and then you figure out where they go later.
So you make sounds before you design, or you design then you make sounds?
I made a game called B4 too. It's got great voice acting. It's all voice acting.
By you?
By me, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
B42. Everybody look it up. Excellent.
I did some voices for hidden object games, but that's in the past.
Sure you don't want to do one now?
Absolutely.
Okay, fair enough. Backup Behavior, they were always dragging me into the sound booth to do voices and also sing for a not yet released game. I voiced a rapping possum and... Oh. I can't remember.
Of course you
I can't remember. And a boy band singing Tiger? British boy band Tiger. Yeah, that was fun. I liked it. Oh, but I can't sing it because it's under NDA. So I would. I actually remember that one. I would sing it right now, but then I'm gonna get like a notice and they're gonna sue me, and then you'll never see me again, and it will be sad. But that was fun. Oh, and Flingamals. That was one. I did one, and they all went like woohoo and woohoo and yeah. It was really fun and cute. That was for ages 6 to 10, clearly, or not. Anyway, it was great. Never have I ever met one of my game design heroes and been horribly disillusioned.
I have, but I'm not going to name names.
That's probably wise. You can talk about them like when I met Donkey Kong. I just kind of was surprised at how he really wasn't as hairy as I thought he was. You know, just whatever. Donkey Kong.
Some people are just not as nice as you think they'll be.
Oh, that's so disappointing and true. Anyone else? No? We're all gonna...
Not disillusioned, but sort of like, I don't know, it's refreshing to be reassured that all these people that you admire are genuine human beings with emotions and flaws.
Everyone has flaws and emotions. Mostly everyone has emotions. Fair. All right. I think I'm running out of good questions. Although, well, I've got a couple more, but I think I'm going to throw it to you guys to start thinking about some. But here's a good Quebec one, although it could traverse the North America. Never have I ever dated a separatist. Am I the only one?
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. For context,
That one.
Yeah, for context, Quebec. Many people in Quebec want to separate from the rest of Canada and form their own country, much like Texas, I think, has a thing about that too sometimes. So, how'd that go?
Oh, he was.
Oh, all of you.
He was convincing like all my friends to like be on like the side of Quebec. He's like, no, we like Quebec should totally separate because like. They have so much water, and like, you know, if they were their own country, like it could totally work, and like blah blah blah.
There was a lot of hydro, to be fair. Yeah. Justin, you seem to have a story.
I'm from British Columbia. We all want you to go.
Aww. Fine. Did I see another story there? No, you're just drinking.
No, that's it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, I worked with one. He was. Yeah, no. Yeah, special. It was great. I kind of dig it. I'm like, yeah, sure. But I'm American, so I have less stakes in this. So, you know. Never have I ever pushed back my game's launch date.
Co-op mode's never released a video game. And we never will.
Whatever you say. Never have I ever made a game I am maybe a little bit or massively embarrassed by.
That isn't hidden object.
The truth.
I have so many.
Do you want to tell us about any of them, or is it too much?
Well, you know, they may be seeing this, but there's one called Jumping Puppy.
That sounds great.
Aw. Was it cute?
It's cute, but it's really bad.
Bad for adults, or bad.
Bad.
Okay. All right.
And there's a lot of other bad ones in there.
Co-op's been paid to make bad games, but in the past.
Yeah, a lot of it is work for hire stuff with too tight of deadlines and too little money.
Yes, I mean, a lot of things that did not start out being bad games kind of end up being. Well, actually, no. If you're given too short a timeline and budget, suddenly you're just not going to make the game someone wants you to make, and they don't seem to understand that often. They're like, "No, you can do it." You're like, "No, no, actually, no, not with that timeline, not with that. Nope, you're nuts." But they don't like hearing that, so, and then you end up with that game.
Freelancing is hard.
There's been other ones that are a little embarrassing content-wise, like Barbie Princess Charm School.
Oh, wow. Thank you for making that, just in general.
Yeah, and that's not even as bad as it gets, but
you probably made some kid happy.
Or, like...
really upset.
Really into gender roles.
That's true.
Gender roles. Wah, wah. I once worked on a baseball game. That was the other first game I ever worked on, was a baseball stadium game for Major League Baseball, which was basically just a giant menu. Yeah. Baseball fans like lots of baseball things. It's weird. Anyway, that was fun, though. The community was fun. They were really obsessive. It was a little weird. I'm going to see if you guys have any questions, because at this point you've probably thought of way better never have I ever questions than I've been telling. And game, Canadian, personal, political, whatever. Why would you set us up like that? Why would I set you up like that? Oh, I'm asking you guys, not the audience yet, so you can still control the conversation.
Never have I ever had trouble funding my projects.
Oh, God.
And then thought to myself, if it's this bad in Canada, what's happening to people in the United States?
Legit.
Does anyone want to talk about it?
For context, we have the Canada Media Fund in Canada, which funds games that are it's in the experimental stream, so they are supposed to be experimental in any regard. They're supposed to be innovative, and they'll give you up to $1.2 million to make a game. We're sorry, and if you don't make money, you don't have to pay it back, which is kind of amazing. But if you do, you have to give it back. What? Oh yeah. Oh, so it's like $5 American. You're right. Wah, wah. Exchange rate sucks. But yeah, we do have that awesome opportunity. I put in my first application on a week ago today. I'm still recovering. It was exhausting. But yeah, we're lucky.
Has anyone else here done a CMF?
I have. And we were awarded the CMF.
Yay.
And we turned it down.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was...
Sony.
Yeah, Sony gave us money, so we're like, fuck that shit. It was really hard, actually. It was like a month of work, full-time, to make an application that would actually get funding. And we asked for, I think, $200,000. And we should have probably taken it, because that's a safer thing to do. But then we'd owe the government half of all of our revenue.
Yeah. Not forever, but for a long time.
Long enough that it feels like forever of the game's lifetime.
When you're a young studio.
Yeah, and so we decided to just live like shit instead and gamble on its success. So if the game flops, we should have totally taken the money, because at least I could pay my rent.
Aw. Yeah, well, I'll find out in 2 months if we got ours. We did it in 2 weeks, which was a little stressful.
Good luck.
I finished, my cold ended yesterday, Like we like submitted, and then my sore throat appeared like a minute later. So thank you, buddy, for not succumbing to that cold before we press submit.
Oh, funny story. When we turned them down, they refused to accept our decision. So they set up a meeting and like came to our office to like, they're like, we just want to make sure you understand what you're doing, and tried to convince us that the math wasn't on our side and that we should take their money.
Had no one ever said no to them before?
They said that it's happened a few times, but that it was always because the people didn't understand the funding, like criteria or something. And they're like, no, we're not stupid. We know what we're doing.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh. But yes, we do have a decent situation in Canada. I would love to talk to more American game devs about that. But maybe that's morbid curiosity. So.
And how about the healthcare?
We also have that.
And welfare.
We also have that. Yeah, it's nice. I like Canada.
It's easy living.
So how do they do it down here at all?
We're not
I don't know.
Americans.
Yeah. I mean, I am, but I've been in Montreal for 9 years and don't know anything else. So, really couldn't tell you. Rough times, guys. Rough times. We have about... do we have 5 minutes? Yeah, we have a couple minutes left. Any last Never Have I Ever's? Audience, do you have any questions for us? In the format of Never Have I Ever. You know you want to. Down here.
Never have I ever. Why are there so many indie devs in Canada?
Because we're all drinking. Because money?
I think the question I would just asked has a lot to do with that. The social safety net in Canada, like along with the unemployment, the way unemployment works.
Also along with the tax credits?
And the various government incentives for employing people in certain industries means that funding your projects is a little bit easier, especially if they're like middle of the road, like semi-independent commercial games.
Building a AAA is a slightly different story, but those companies get huge tax credits, or any of us actually can get the tax credits from the government as well. You get like 30% of the salaries that you're spent on video games back, basically. So it's a lot cheaper than doing it in the States.
Also, the cost of living in Montreal is so low that you can afford to, work as a barista or have a part-time job and then work on making your own game pretty sustainably. Like rent is super, super cheap.
And the National Film Board just started funding games
That's
too.
true.
So they're like taking like submissions for like small boutique games that are not expected to make money. So it's kind of perfect.
Yeah, they can't make a profit on their games, so they're funding whatever the hell anyone thinks is cool.
Yep.
It's not all low taxes. We're really smart and creative too.
And I think there's a certain critical mass which allows creation. So like Montreal has so many studios, and I think Vancouver and Toronto also have a lot. And so that means that you can go work at a large studio and there's often jobs available. But if there aren't, there's all these cool indies and other people who you're going to meet who you can form games with or little studios with. And just like that critical mass of, I think, creative people and talent is really both inspirational and makes it easier to sort of find a team and just do something great.
Yeah, there's a really strong local community, like self-organized, grassroots in a lot of Canadian cities, and I'm sure a lot of American cities too, but they serve as like a really important hub for motivating people to go into games.
Up there?
Never have I ever been able to be productive during a long, depressing winter.
We don't actually know how to cope.
This is why we drink. Although there's way less distractions during the winter, summer in Montreal is amazing. So it's actually way harder to get work done to a certain extent because you're like, oh my God, I can go outside.
Unless you don't have AC in your office.
Ooh, wow, buddy. Come on.
You get 20 fans.
Oh, no. How cool. It gets really hot. I mean, it doesn't quite get this hot most of the time, but it can. So, it's still painful though. But yeah, in the winter, it's depressing, but you have nothing to do but work on your game in your warm, hopefully, apartment. or
The
office.
Canadians are talking about whether we need another hour.
Oh, we have about we have about a minute. So, any final questions? Come on, one question. Any from up here?
Ketchup chips. I should have brought some. I'm sorry.
We're all dressed.
Is there? Do you guys know about a donair? Not a doner, but a donair. It's like a gyro meat cone with super sweet condensed milk sauce and and onions and
I don't know
tomato.
what kind of
Is this a
donuts
Halifax
you're eating.
thing?
What? Yeah, it's a Halifax thing.
Ah,
It's really good.
Heard of it.
You've got your chow mein, your $2 chow mein.
yeah.
It's just
that's just
melted
that one
peanut
place.
butter.
Don't get food poisoning. It's not fun.
I just want to experience Hulu back in Canada. That's all I really want.
That would be awesome. I miss Pandora. We don't have Pandora.
Sometimes there's news on the news channel.
I like maple syrup.
Drivers in Canada actually letting you into lanes and not cutting you off and just being a lot nicer. It's great.
Really, I find Montreal traffic terrifying.
I mean, to be fair, I don't drive.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. Distantly Canadian things. All I can think of is tall boys. I don't know. I feel like that's not a thing. It's just not what they call them in the States. Like the tall beers. Tall boys. I don't know.
They have those, though.
Yeah, but they have them, but they don't call them that. Oh, toques. I didn't know what that was for like 3 years when I moved there. I was like, what? I'm sorry, you have a what? It's a hat. I love Tim Hortons. So good. It's not that good, but it's everywhere and I love it. And they usually have decaf coffee, which is great for me. So. Yay. Oh man. Dépanneurs. That sell beer and you don't have that in Ontario, or do you have that in Halifax, Dépanneurs? Like they sell beer and wine in the corner stores?
No.
Poor souls. Well, we didn't get anyone from Toronto up here, did we? Whoops. Anyway, Quebec rocks. All right, I think that is everything we have time for, because I think they need to clean the theater. But thank you so much for coming to my Anamorphine / Canadian Game Dev panel. If you have more questions for Canadians or about Canada and game dev, you know who to talk to. So thank you. And thank you to the participants for coming last minute and doing this with me.
Hey everybody, so we're going to kick everybody out for just about 10 minutes so we can press the reset button and clean up the theater and give your hard-working wait staff a break, who you should be tipping lavishly. They're working really hard for y'all. We'll let you back in like 10 minutes.
I can't tell if you're gonna like.
The reaction was good in places. There was a lot of laughing in places.
It's a little hard to say, but.
I was in the middle of it for a bit there. I was able to hear some people having strong laugh reactions.
Thank you. That's good.
But your panelists had a lot of personality, which
Oh yeah. Oh, we're Canadian, baby, of course.
everybody got into it. Everybody said at least one great thing, and some of them said multiple great things.
I mean, it was really good. I know. I felt like I was the weak link actually.
No, by the way, your demonstration of your game was excellent. I listened very intently. The game played really well on the big screen. The demo, Hugo's pace of the demo was actually perfect.
Yeah, no, I've gotten used to
your
talking
voiceover was
first,
excellent too.
Thank you.
And
Yeah, here, why don't you should drink this though. Because you haven't been drinking, have you? I'm sorry. You did, but I shouldn't drink more because I had to drive and I was having a good time. Hey! Didn't join us?
Yeah, it seems like you're.
Aw, it was pretty full, I guess, but. Did you watch?
Yeah, I was there.
Cool, I couldn't tell if it, like, I feel like a
Were you
doofus.
drinking
so,
alone now? I mean,
no,
that's what
it's
matters.
just-
I didn't have to. Say yes. Yes.
Actually, I really want some water, but there's no. I'll go get a glass with this. But.
A few waters.
No, I didn't get any. I should have.
I used to crawl.
Really?